You know, it's kind of hard to believe, but just 10 years ago, the world was, well, pretty much laughing at India's clean energy goals. Fast forward to today, and India is a solar superpower. So what on earth happened? That's what we're going to break down in this explainer, one of the most amazing energy turnarounds we've seen this century.
Okay, so this is where it all kicks off. Picture this. It's late 2015, right before the huge Paris climate conference. An Australian newspaper publishes this cartoon, and it's bad. It shows Indians, dressed in loincloths, trying to eat solar panels. I mean, besides being just plain offensive, it shows what this quote gets at. A profound misunderstanding of what India was actually planning. The world just wasn't getting it. Not at all.
So, that's the big question, right? How in the world did India do it? How do you go from being the butt of a joke to a master of the game in just 10 years? That's exactly what we're going to dig into. And let me tell you, it's a story of ambition that basically flipped the script on the entire world. All right, to really get how huge this achievement is, we've got to go back. Let's rewind the clock to 2015 and just soak in the atmosphere of doubt that was surrounding India at the time.
And this really nails the disconnect. On one hand, you have how the rest of the world saw India, stuck on coal, kind of dragging its feet in the climate fight. But then, on the other hand, you see what was really going on behind the scenes. This quiet, determined plan to just go for it, to build a massive energy transition from the ground up.
And here's the number everyone kept throwing around. 4 gigawatts. That was it. That was India's total installed solar capacity back in 2015. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's basically a rounding error today. It felt like a tiny drop in a huge ocean. And for the skeptics, this was Exhibit A for why India just wasn't serious.
But, and this is where the story takes a turn, while everyone was focused on that tiny number shaking their heads, India was already making a huge move. A really bold, strategic play that nobody saw coming.
Get this, in that same year 2015, with all that skepticism swirling around, India teams up with France and launches the International Solar Alliance. This wasn't just some small announcement. This was India planting a flag and saying, we're not just here to play, we're here to lead.
And that's what was so smart about the ISA. See, it wasn't just some India first plan. It was bigger. It was about creating a team, a whole alliance of countries with a lot of sun, especially in the global south, to work together, bring down costs, and make solar power a real option for millions. Okay, so they laid the groundwork with this big global alliance. But what came next? Well, this is where things get, frankly, wild. All that ambition on paper suddenly became one of the fastest, most explosive energy expansions anyone has ever seen. Period.
2,500%. Just let that number sink in for a second. 2,500%. That's the growth in just solar capacity in a single decade. I mean, it's a number that's almost hard to wrap your head around.
And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? Remember that little 4 gigawatt number we talked about? The one everyone scoffed at? Well, look at where things are now. We're talking over 100 gigawatts. This isn't just a little step up. This is a quantum leap. It's a total redefinition of what's possible. And because of that crazy growth, renewables aren't some niche thing in India's energy mix anymore. Not at all. They now make up almost half of the country's entire installed power capacity. That's a massive shift. So you might be wondering, how did they pull this off? Well, it wasn't magic. It came down to really smart strategic policy. One of the key moves was this thing called the PLI scheme. And the goal here wasn't just to import solar panels, but to actually build a whole industry to make them right there in India. And did it work? Oh yeah. The result is that India now has over 91 gigawatts of its own solar manufacturing capacity. Think about that. It went from being a buyer to a major global player in making the things themselves.
But look, this story isn't just about big numbers and industrial policy. At its heart, this is about changing the lives of 1.4 billion people.
So, what does this energy revolution actually feel like for an ordinary person? Let's bring it down from the 30,000-foot view and see how it's impacting everyday homes and farms. It's happening through these really focused programs. You've got PM Surya Ghar, which helps people put solar on their rooftops. And then there's the Kusum program for farmers, helping them set up solar water pumps. So this isn't some abstract thing. It's getting clean, reliable power right down to the grassroots, where it can make a huge difference. And all of this success at home? Well, it's completely changed the conversation on the world stage. India isn't seen as just another country trying to keep up anymore. It's now seen as a genuine leader.
I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. You just look at the global rankings. India is now number 4 in the world for total renewables and number 3 for solar power. We're talking ahead of nations that had a huge head start. It's pretty incredible.
And that international solar alliance we talked about, the one India helped start, it's become this huge force for global cooperation. What started as this bold idea has blossomed into an alliance of more than 100 countries, all pulling in the same direction for a cleaner, fairer energy future.
So, here we are, full circle, from that cartoon to, well, to global mastery. It's quite a journey. Let's just take a moment and really think about what this all means.
Because this didn't happen by accident, right? It was built on a really solid foundation, having a big vision, scaling up at lightning speed, building up your own manufacturing, making sure it benefits everyday people, and of course, leading on the world stage.
And that really is the biggest takeaway. The country that was once the subject of a dismissive cartoon is now, just 10 years later, lighting the way for the rest of the world. It's a complete 180. So yeah, India's story here is more than just inspiring. It's a practical blueprint for how to get big things done fast. And it leaves us with a really powerful question to chew on. If one country can do this in a decade, what could the whole world achieve if we all brought that same kind of focus and ambition to the table?